here. This idea is actually a kind of a product of a coffee and at the same time beer discussions with my colleagues in the department. And you know what, it's kind of, goosebumps and sort of like that. Because it's hard to imagine that these titans are actually here. So, I have two roles for today. Like, first, I have to deliver the rationale, and second, to introduce the speakers for this event. Today, it is an imperative to ask ourselves, what kind of world are we living in? Recent times saw the rise of fascist movements masquerading as revolutionary alternatives. Worse, we seem to be oblivious of the fact that history seems to be coming full circle. Nowadays, nationalist ideologues whose irreflexive and inherently fascistic opinions are fed to us every day are once again on the pedestal. Not to mention the radical positioning of technology as governing structure of human activity and that of thought has become pervading and invasive to the functionality of life, which challenges the upbeat of philosophical theories and their relevance. Human thought is now structured in canned capsules of virtual entrapment and extreme dependency to political messianism after the failure of some strategies of economic, political, and cultural liberations. While social movements are losing momentum, political struggle has become a symbol of false hope amongst us. The overall vitality of life is now left unexplored or deemed ignored in expense of virtuality and politicality, of regression and acceptance of the present matrix of social codifications. So, with attacks coming from all sides, how to think now in these scandalous times? How does philosophy philosophize itself? Is philosophy in need of a reorganization, a critique, resilience? Does philosophy have to become more reflexive? Recent articulations of philosophy, thinking itself became exercises in futility. But to rethink the position then and again amidst the possibility or indeed inevitability of demise is to hold in the potential creation of an indefinite response in these critical times. And to introduce, the wave of 1968 protests brought the world into its knees. The French marched in the streets from Nanterre to Paris, voicing out the unequal footing of social structure, which later on pacified by giving the students what they want, an experimental university. Against racism and social inequality, Columbia University in New York joined the bandwagon by replacing their university officials with members of the working class, such as farmers and fishermen. In the Philippines, which came a little bit late, the dark times martial rule was declared triggering the first quarter storms in the early 70s. Then, Dr. Emerita Quito, a fresh PhD graduate from Switzerland, knew what to do in her academic career, that is, to join the main stream of protest. Then, she was dubbed as the darling of student philosophers, rebels, intellectuals, and even demonstrators. No wonder Dr. Quito was responsible for the intellectual upbringing of the generation after her, including, of course, the unique gang of philosophers whom we invited today, who underwent her notorious supervision. Brother Romualdo Abulad, SPD, PhD, is the Dean of Studies of the Divine Word Mission Seminary. He finished his BA Philosophy degree at the University of Santo Tomas, his MA in Philosophy at the Ateneo, and his PhD in Philosophy at UST. From 1979 to 1981, Brother Romy wrote his postdoctoral research titled Criticism and Eternal Peace, Kant's Critique of Pure Reason as the Method of Scientific Metaphysics at the University of Hamburg in Germany. He has written extensively on the German philosopher Immanuel Kant and the comparative East-West philosophy. Dr. Alfredo Co, who will come later, is the Professor Emeritus of Philosophy at the University of Santo Tomas. He finished his BA, MA, and PhD in Philosophy degrees at the University of Santo Tomas also. Dr. Co holds two postdoctorate degrees, namely Chinese and Classical Philosophy from the Chinese University of Hong Kong and Comparative Philosophy from Paris Sorbonne University, where he wrote his dissertation in French, titled The Notion of He in Confucius and the Concept of Liberty in Jean-Jacques Rousseau, The Politics of Duty and the Politics of Liberty. He has written extensively in Chinese philosophy and comparative philosophy. Presently, he is the president of the Philippine Academy of Philosophical Research and the chairman of CHED's Technical Committee on Philosophy. He is also the founding president of the Philosophy Circle of the Philippines, and in 2009, he was the first ever recipient of 7-volume Feshkrit awarded by UST. Dr. Manuel Dy Jr. He's a professor of philosophy at the Ateneo de Manila University. He finished his BA and MA degrees in philosophy at Ateneo de Manila and PhD in philosophy at University of Santo Tomas. He finished his postdoctorate degree at the Catholic University of America, Washington, D.C. in 1984. He has studied or handled various philosophy courses and specializes in Habermas, Scheller, Marcel, and Kierkegaard. He served as secretary of the Asian Association of Catholic Philosophers from 1994 to 1996. Our next speaker, Dr. Florentino Timbreza, is dubbed as the father of Filipino philosophy. He teaches philosophy at the De La Salle and University of Santo Tomas. He finished his BA in philosophy at the Far Eastern University, his MA in philosophy at the Ateneo de Manila, and PhD in philosophy at the University of Santo Tomas. He has written extensively on Filipino philosophy and moral philosophy. And lastly, Professor Amable Tuibeo is the 2017-2018 Professoriate Chairholder Philosophy and Humanities at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Professor Tuibeo specializes on classical Marxism and philosophy of education. He was the founding chairman of the Department of Philosophy. In last 2012, he was given a conference tribute at the Marx Festival by PUP's Department of Philosophy and Humanities and the Institute of Social History. We also invited Dr. Jeremiah Joven Joaquin, the current president of the Philosophical Association of the Philippines, to moderate the symposium. Dr. Joaquin is an associate professor of philosophy at the De La Salle. He finished his PhD in philosophy at the De La Salle University and was a visiting researcher fellow at the Australian National University under the supervision of the philosopher Alan Hayek. Dr. Joaquin has written and published extensively on analytic philosophy and metaphysics. Friends, join me in welcoming Brother Romy, Doc Annie, Dr. P, and Amable Tuibeo.